And guys, gals, and everyone else, welcome. We're live once again on Facebook, aka Meta, on LinkedIn, aka Microsoft, and on YouTube, aka Google. We're on these platforms live streaming into your ears, into your homes, into your lives. Myself and Monica Paula Quitiva, the world famous Monica, author extraordinaire, CRC Academy co founder, Latinos in Clinical Research co founder, and author. I don't know if you're ready to talk about that. We don't have to. And the title of this, and Clinical Research Circle co founder, soon to be PI Academy. We're uploading the modules today.
the clinical
Recruiter
research,
Academy,
the clinical research university, Dan.
University. Anytime I hear somebody say something about we should teach, I just say, Monica will make an academy from this. The When we had Marcelo Ruiz from Latinos in Clinical Research, international medical graduate, he was saying, IMGs need like a class to learn about research. It was like, we can have a class like the International Medical Graduate class where we teach people about the wonderful world of research. But maybe these videos are good enough. And guys, let us know where you're watching from and more importantly, what you're drinking, right? I'm drinking water.
Oh, me
I need
too.
coffee,
Drink
but I have
water.
water instead. Monica is drinking water.
Water, but let me
Okay.
just actually get it right
Let us know,
here.
guys, in the comments because we got exciting things to talk about. We've got regulatory. Nothing more exciting than regulatory, right? When you think regulatory, you just think fun, days filled with fun. But in all seriousness, guys, there's an opportunity, especially at the site level, for regulatory services, especially if you throw in eSource and eReg. I'll tell you from my experience, Monica, okay? I'm a brand new site owner here in Yuma, Arizona. I haven't hired anyone yet. It's just me and my business partner, and then my wife helps me a little bit. But I do all these other things with you, a bunch of other things. So I don't have time when these new studies start to create the eReg and to upload everything and then to create the source. Even though we have Julie who can do the source because we're clients, but to convert that to eSource, we need, like, this is what we need help with, and this is what a lot of people, you're saying you're teaching your students in the CRC Academy that when they do learn the regulatory skills, especially regulatory startup and
Hmm.
e-regulatory maintenance, e-regulatory startup as well, and eSource, that there is a huge opportunity here, much like Olga demonstrated, one of our former students.
Yeah, so I just think like we were mentioning the other day that if you don't find an opportunity, you have to make your own, right? And one opportunity that you can create for yourself is to become, to master the regulatory documents. If you want to, like, I hear so many people say, "No, I want to find a job remote." Well, you don't have to find that. You can make it yourself. You can
Make your own.
create that.
Make your own.
Exactly. So it's a matter of reaching out to sites and offering them your services, doing the e-reg electronically. Nowadays, there are many platforms for free that you can even include in your services. Like you can say, "Hey, I know how to manage. Let's say this is a free advertisement for this company, by the way." Like for
Mm-hmm.
example, VivaVolt. VivaVolt has free site irregulatory site for sites. And it's not just Viva. I actually, somebody was mentioning to me the other day another two organizations that do the same. So
Yeah.
all you need to do is make sure you master the regulatory part, the essentials, and I mean it's basically every single for most of the studies it's gonna be exactly the same documents. So if you master that, I mean, there you go. You have a whole career, and then and then in the future, if you want to, like I say, you can create your own opportunity by offering these services to sites that need that help, or you can after you master this and have experience, you can go and apply for a work as a regulatory specialist, and maybe later on
Startup
uh,
specialist,
a startup specialist.
trial master
uh,
file specialist.
exactly.
You know, this especially when you integrate the e-regulatory with the regulatory. Like we had one of our CRC Academy graduates yesterday, right? Because she was one of the best students performing wise in the class. When I came to you and said, Monica, I need one of our interns from the CRC Academy to help me with my site here in Yuma create the e-regulatory platform, and then I'm gonna email her all the reg docs. She has to upload them all. You know, you thought immediately of who it would be, and this is a perfect one. I had a conversation with her. I told her like this also can be a potential business for you. But if for anybody watching and listening, like learn startup regulatory. This is just another advice for how to approach sites. Right? We all know sites need more studies. We all know sites need more patience. We all know sites need their Instagram and Facebook and TikTok managed. We all know that sites need more clinicians in the community. But now it's regulatory too. Sites have never been busier. And if you are a startup regulatory master, and how do you become a master? You just learn how to do it. You take CRC Academy, you read the book. Look at Gabriella says, let's be honest. And this is from a CRA, a long time CRA. Senior. Let's be honest, without regulatory part of clinical trials, there are no options for next steps.
Exactly. Thank you very much for that, Gabriela.
Monica's a big
So
fan, Gabriella. She saw our podcast when we did it. So, yes, thank you, Gabriella. Like, this is, if you learn startup regulatory, it's honestly not that difficult. We walked through, these are the papers. I actually have the papers in here for this is two studies. All right. This is startup regulatory documents for two studies. Look at my regulatory binder. All right. It's a book. I'm just reading a book. Nothing is filed. Why? Because it's all going to be filed electronically with Creo. This is the platform we use. Creo has eSource and eReg. If you get good at learning Creo or one of these tools, all right, you can offer your service to other sites to do
mhm.
e-regulatory, e-source. It could not only get your foot in the door, it could also be a lucrative business for you. And it's something you can honestly even do remotely. The person helping me for my Yuma, Arizona clinical research site lives in San Francisco. So think of it that way. You know, it's like we lost Monica, but she'll be back.
No, no,
But
no, no, no.
she's
I'm here.
just okay.
It's,
There we go.
it's just that my battery is gone, so I have to
She's
connect.
just too excited about this. She went to go start up regulatory business. Uh, Linda B. Morrow, Doctor Mora, thank you very much. She says that will be great. Angelica says, "Do your course and book cover topics about regulatory?" Yes, the
Yes.
book covers it. The CRC Academy covers it. The
Yeah.
CRA Academy covers it. This is more geared towards CRC students, but I think the CRA student can do this too. Why not? The best CRAs start where? Start at the site level.
Exactly. So, and we need, and we actually teach this is basically, I mean, obviously regulatory is a large part of research. in the
Mhm.
clinic, I mean, everywhere. So you need to know this to be a good clinical research coordinator and obviously a CRA, right?
Right. Okay, so now let's see. Let us know more questions and we'll be able to answer it. But I just think this is a really good way, in addition to the 4 steps we mentioned earlier: more studies, more patients, more doctors, more digital marketing. Now, more help with the regulatory. Startup regulatory. Sites have never been busier than they are now. The regulatory is. And Gabriella, by the way, I forgot to email you the flyer. I'll email you the flyer of what we do. I totally forgot. Matter of fact, I could do it right now while we answer these questions and do the live stream. So, anything
Yeah,
else you want to add in
yes,
regards to this?
yes, Dan. What we were mentioning, the source document is another way to connect with the sites and to get your foot in it, like I mean, an experience. Obviously, that's another way that you can create your own opportunity. So if you have if you become also an expert on creating source documents, and I'm gonna tell you a secret that everybody knows. You create a source document once for a study, and you can sell it to all the sites that are involved with that study. Boom.
Yes. If you do, so there's a couple of things you can do. You can do the what you can do is the startup regulatory services, where you literally either file the site's startup regulatory documents or actually do them, like go get everything signed, do the IRB submissions, all that stuff. You can definitely charge for that, or you can let them do it, but you file it. That's what my intern's doing. I did it all. She's filing it. The next level is her doing it, right? Like for the next study, that could be her doing the whole thing. And this is actually a good way to approach sites about internship. If you're trying to get your foot in the door at a site, we mentioned 4 things. This is the 5th: startup regulatory.
Yeah, that I mean, and if you're looking for experience, that's also a way to create your own experience. Uh, and I mean to make it happen, right? Let's say that you do this for 6 months, and then you have experience already. I mean, doing regulatory, and that's a big part of research. I mean, and if you're been doing that for 6 months, by the time you have your interview, you're gonna be talking the same language they do, right?
That's right.
Because you already have the experience.
That's right. So just we wanted to come on and tell you how regulatory. Now, how can they actually learn about this stuff, Monica? Regulatory. Let's say somebody says, "Okay, sounds good, but I don't want to do your course."
Oh,
So
we have
how can they
videos.
do this?
We actually have one video just about regulatory, if you remember. We actually even have a list of the regulatory documents that you have to take care of. Usually, right? Some studies have some variations with this um, regulatory documents, but in
Yeah, we
general, the
actually have
essentials
webinar.
are the same. Hmm.
If you go to my channel and you go to playlists and you go to webinars. Wow, I just went to my channel and we're live. It's weird. But you go to webinars, playlists, and then webinars, you will find the regulatory. So there's, let's see here. We have a lot of content for you guys. This is like the webinars we did is like another academy. Uh, do, 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 do.
Yeah, so
Regulatory documents for clinical research sites webinar. Oh my
yeah.
gosh,
So
guys.
it's that one, and then the video you and me did that is on our website, on the CRC Academy website.
Oh,
We
it's
have
on
a
there.
video
Okay.
about it. Yeah, about
That's right.
regular.
That's right.
Or you
And then
can
buy the book.
also,
Buy the book.
yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm.
because you're going to have samples of
That's
the regulatory documents in there. And then, seriously, if you go to approach some sites, like 10 sites in your area, and tell them after you watch that webinar and the video we did with Monica and maybe read a little bit about it in the book, you tell 10 sites in your area, hey, I know I can do startup regulatory. You may have to teach me the first study, like I'll just file everything, but for the second one, I'll do it. And if that's going to be helpful for you, and I'll do it for free and just to get experience. So if you approach 10 sites, one of them's going to say yes. Why? Because who does that? Nobody does that. Nobody goes to sites. So that says a lot about you right there if you're the one that ends up doing that.
exactly. Another way that we also, I think we actually discussed this in the past, is like doing the pre-screening for the patients because that's also time consuming. So if you learn well to read the inclusion and exclusion criteria, the prohibit medication, concomitant medication, medical history from the protocol, then you're going to know exactly how to pre-screen a patient for that specific study. And if you help the site to find a group of patients within their database or from the advertisement that they are doing, and you actually uh, run like the pre-screening for them, like review their the patient medical history, the concomitant medication, so you can just compare that with the inclusion and exclusion criteria, the prohibit medication list, concomitant medications, and then medical history. Then, I mean, that's another thing that you could do because that's time consuming, and then on top of that is a critical part, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
the sites, obviously, after we have the pre-screening, then we have to do the screening, of course, and the screening is critical, so you're saving time for the start for.
Monica, I think I dropped you. Think we lost Monica. Monica, you're frozen. Monica, come back when when Monica comes back. But she's absolutely right. So there's a way. It's startup regulatory, probably one of the easiest things you can learn in research. Granted, it's not as easy as entering data into EDC. It's not as easy as going on clinicaltrials.gov and looking for potential studies for sites to apply for. It's not as easy. Well, maybe it's easier. It depends if you're shy or what kind of personality you are. Going out in the community and talking to different clinicians, right? All that stuff is easier, I think. But this is right up there. This is right up there with like learning curve, not that high, right? Startup regulatory, fairly simple, especially because the sponsor sends you the regulatory packet and they give you instructions exactly how do you need to be filled out. The hardest part is the IRB submission. You might need to have the site walk you through that once, the initial IRB application, before you can get comfortable doing it on your own. But other than that, like even just helping a site file their regulatory is important. Like my site in Yuma, right? One of our CRC Academy interns is helping me just file. They're not helping me do it. I already did the work. It's a matter of filing it and now filing the electronic version of it and creating the investigator site file electronically. So, with all that being said, guys, I'm going to wrap this up because I got another Zoom call I got to jump on. But thank you so much for watching. As always, make sure you like, subscribe, comment, share. And please, please let me know what other questions I could answer for you because I'm ready. I'm here to do it, here to serve. Catch y'all later. Bye bye.